Welcome to Midsumma Musings, and we're going to have a powwow with one of Midsumma's performers. Welcome the lovely Jonathan Duffy.
Thank you so much for having me.
Now, you've done a show in Midsumma called Versatile Bitch, and I wonder, what is it like to introduce people to your sex life that way?
Well, it's funny you say that, because in the show I do kind of talk about sexual versatility.
Well, I was just making a joke then.
I do.
What made you want to do a show? What was Versatile Bitch? What kind of are you doing an array of things about yourself?
Yeah, well, basically, Versatile Bitch it's a sequel to my last show, Without Me I'm Nothing. So it's sort of looking at all the different skills I have accumulated in my lifetime just to pay the bills as a performer. And sort of like, as a kid, I always...
entertaining biography.
Yeah, exactly. As a kid, I always wanted to be the leading man. And now I would play a tree as long as it pays.
Yeah, exactly. What's your worst little job that you do in your versatile bitchness?
The worst job I do. I can't say it's the worst one because it's a good money spinner.
Yeah.
But I would say some of the corporate entertaining I do, sometimes hosting murder mystery parties can be a little draining.
Only if you're not the dead body.
Yeah.
It's nice to be the person that's being killed. Now, you love doing Midsumma. You've done it the last couple of years. It's a wonderful festival.
It's amazing.
Now, we were talking off air and you were telling me about how you like to use the Midsumma Festival as the beginning of your run, of your show.
Exactly.
What's that about?
Well, I guess it's the magician revealing their secrets.
Do it.
So the way I do it is I have the new show always premiere in midsummer. And then I take, so this year it was Versatile Bitch. And then I tour last year's show through the festival circuit. So and then, find little opportunities to use Versatile Bitch. So next year, I'll have a new show and I'll tour Versatile Bitch through the festival circuit.
I've often done the same thing where I use Midsumma as a great basis to do a show. I must say, Midsumma audiences, they're very, very unforgiving.
They are.
Which I love as a performer. The one thing about Midsumma with people, they either love something or they hate it. It's summer, they want to enjoy themselves.
They do.
They don't want to sit in the middle. Do you like that?
I do, but it's also sometimes my husband is probably my harshest critic. And he's Dutch, and I often say he's severely Dutch.
Yeah.
So they're very straightforward with their criticism. So I'm quite prepared because Midsumma audiences are actually similar to a Dutch mother-in-law or a Dutch husband. They'll tell you straight away, "Oh, I liked this bit, but I hated when you did this," which is a good Melbourne audiences. There's so much around, so you've got to really refine what you're doing. I think before you take it elsewhere. So that's why I find the Midsumma audience is a great testing ground.
Well, yeah, it's one of the things I really do love about Midsumma. There's so much art and so much culture, and just like when you do your shows and perform, you sing, you do comedy. I remember last year you even did a bit of a dance.
I did,
and that was quite fun and exciting. It's great that you can create a melting pot of performing and throw it out there.
Yeah.
Is that something you normally do with the shows that you do?
I do, and it took a long time before I could get to that point because I was always so afraid of the phrase being an entertainer rather than just being an actor or a comedian or a cabaret performer. And I guess from when I trained as an actor when I was a lot younger, I was so diehard and extremist about I am an actor. And it took a long time for me to realize, hang on a second, I can be someone who just gives people some light entertainment and then subtly drops some...
It's a good way to go.
Some little bits and pieces in there as well.
And Midsumma audiences do love a mix of things thrown at them.
They do.
Do you have a favourite Midsumma memory?
A favourite Midsumma memory? Probably proposing to my partner at last year's Midsumma on closing night in front of a full house.
I cried.
Oh,
I must admit, I cried. It was really lovely. This year as well, you also got to perform with Dolly Diamond in her show.
I did.
Dolly Diamond Under the Big Top.
Under a Big Top.
Under a Big Top, not the Big Top.
It took me a few weeks to get that.
Is she as difficult to work with as everyone says?
She can be. She knows what she wants. She knows what she wants, and it's. I guess in some ways it's like the RuPaul's Drag Race of of being a cameo performer. You really don't want to F it up.
Yep, that's certainly the way to go. Well, we're looking forward to seeing Versatile Bitch.
Thank you.
Well, it's going to be lots of fun. It's touring around. Well, you're touring another show around Australia, aren't you?
But I had so much fun with it that I am looking at doing it again this year in Melbourne.
You're going all around the place.
I am.
It's certainly a good thing to use festivals like this as a way to do your performing.
Yeah.
And Midsumma's a really fun one to do that with, isn't it?
It's amazingly fun, and it's crazy. And at the end of it, I think we all kind of need a detox and a...
It is funny. Everyone else has their rest over Christmas, and then there's all the Midsumma performers all doing everything else, and you get your rest in February just before Comedy Festival.
Just before Comedy Festival, or New Zealand Fringe.
Or New Zealand Fringe, or all of it. It's pretty exciting to be taking shows all around Australia.
It's amazing.
It's a lot of fun. But you've certainly... Is Midsumma one of your funnest festivals to perform in?
As long as I don't get in trouble for saying it, it's probably the most favourite of mine.
The most favourite.
Yeah.
What makes Midsumma the most favourite?
I guess it's so well established. I know so many, it's my home, so I know so many performers here as well. And I love the audiences. They are unforgiving, but when you do get it right, they really let you know.
I love an unforgiving Midsumma audience, though.
Yeah.
It's when something's not working, they make sure that you know it's not working, and it's the only way that you're going to improve.
Exactly.
And they don't hold back. Sometimes even during a show. Do you get heckling during a show?
I have been heckled before, but I tend to get what I like to call the helpful hecklers. Somebody who feels like they're helping you. But they're not really.
Are they drunk normally when they're doing that?
Mostly, yeah.
They're never that helpful, those hecklers, are they?
No. But I don't like to make attention. I just kind of go, great, that's fine. I've got the microphone, let's move on.
So you've never had a fight with a heckler on stage?
No, I avoid confrontation.
There was one time that I actually made the person get up and sit next to my mother because they were talking so much.
Oh, no.
And there's one thing you don't do is you don't mess with an Italian woman while her son's performing on stage.
Not at all.
But Versatile Bitch is pretty exciting. What show are you touring around Australia this year as well?
Without Me, I'm Nothing.
Without Me, I'm Nothing. That's the one where you propose to your husband, but you're not going to be doing that every night, are you?
No, well, I could find a different person in the audience each night.
You could reenact it.
I could.
I honestly think that's something you should possibly do. I think you should put it into the script. You heard it here first on Bent TV. I think you should definitely do that, and you should propose to a different person every performance around Australia.
Wow.
It'd be a good way to tell people about marriage equality.
It would be, actually. I should look into that.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Dan.
You've been watching Bent TV, and this is Midsumma Musings. Thanks for joining us, Jonathan Duffy.
Thank you very much.